Good morning. Back at it again. Starting from 1274, I'm going to try to, well, wouldn't it be cool to get to 2200s and then go to tournaments and get like the CM title, Candidate Master? That would be pretty cool. But one step at a time, one game at a time. I'm currently on Twitch, streaming. I'm going to start with some puzzles. Later on I'm going to upload this video to YouTube, or at least that's the current idea. So if I start, talking to random people, if they're in a chat room from Twitch. Okay, so I'll start with puzzles. Further, I was thinking that I was going to try to, I'm currently unstable. It's unstable. I'm thinking that I'm going to try to start streaming between 10 and 12 going forward, unless, other people would rather me stream at a different time, or, something like that. I'm going to do, I think it was Puzzle Rush and Survival. So 24, I wonder what the leaderboard says. Oh, that's my leaderboard. Oh, wait. Global... It gets that high? 1106, 1106. That's a lot of puzzles. Alright. So, 2, 1, go. So, that was a bad move because back right. Blech. So, bishop covers, a diagonal, mate. Well, nobody's protecting the rook, so mate. Well, nobody's protecting the king, so mate. Well, nobody's protecting the back rank. Okay, okay, so that's dangerous, but I have mate. Alright, so, okay, so this guy's protecting this guy, so this guy can go over here and mate him. So he's attacking the bishop. White to move. 1, you can't stop it. You can't stop it. No, wait. No, that comes with check. That actually comes with check. So I can't push this, because if I push that, then it gets mated. So I'll probably have to pick up... Wait, I'm white to move. Probably move the king here, so if takes, then takes. Probably. Do I have a more forcing move? Well, the bishop is on the white square, so he can't even do anything to help the king. And I can't support it, so I feel like the best move is probably... Well, I don't know anything about chess. So I see that I have this. Well, look for a better move. Okay, so, let's see here. Have this, that's that, okay, so that's probably the move. Well, that's not a good move, because I can win a queen. That's, like I used to. Oh, duh, why? So, knight's under attack. Who is protecting? Well, okay, so, well, this rook, probably. And then, okay, so, we have this, that. I can't push the pawn because it'll get eaten. Oh. Okay. So... I didn't even check that one. That's not good. Okay, I can't make any more mistakes. really making these mistakes in a 906 level. It's pathetic, dude. Shh, shh. Okay. So it's attacking the rook. White to move. Is there a better move than just take the rook? Oof. I think I have to go here. Stop you ever getting. Alright. Alright. I can sack here. Queen checks. He moves here. If that takes there. I could go here, and that blocks that. I think it's... I could barrel down the center, but he's got 1, 2, 3, so that's probably not it, and he wants me to take, so he can do that. I don't think castling is a good move, because they're always trying to get me to, like, you know, be more proactive. That doesn't do anything. That definitely doesn't do anything. That makes him move. That doesn't really do any... Oh, I see. So my rook is under attack. And he's got 2 queens and a rook. But that's not going to do you any good. Alright, so he's going to throw this in my face. Okay, so this guy... Well, this guy can't move because he'll drop this guy. I'm white to move. Well, I'm thinking I could check him here. What happens if I check that he has to move, and then I could take at a certain point, or I could do on both sides, but he can always redefend. Then I could go for it. I kind of want to do this, but it's too slow. Would he want to redefend? I mean, he wouldn't want to redefend. Alternatively, he could bring it all the way back, so even if he checks, he can move the rook to cover the back rank, but you can't really hang on to this pawn either. I've got the 2 rooks, so I should be able to move. If I move him here, now, what does he do? Well, he has to stay tied to the pawn, and he can't move on this rank, so I'll have to move this way. So then I can move here, and seeing that... Okay, let's do this. Let's just do this. Okay, now I'm thinking here. Or, yeah, the king... Okay. Oh, I see. And then check back, because I win the bishop for free. I could not do that, that's not how that works. I do have this check. And alternatively, I could just ask you to get away! Get away! Okay, no, actually that doesn't work. Or I could just pick up the rook for free. Is there any reason why I wouldn't want to pick up the rook for free? I mean, I could go here, and then he goes here, which attacks here, and, well, then I could pick it up. So actually that works. Okay, so it's not working, so I guess it's not supposed to be that. Maybe I should just pick up. But that seems too simple. Okay, right now he can't move there. This guy's trapped. Oh, well, he can't move. Right now, the king can go here. He can go. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he can go here. He can go here. Can I change the color of this? Holy cow! I can do that too. This is awesome. Okay. So, what colors do I get? Okay, red, green, orange, blue. Okay, these are the 4 colors I get. This is cool. It's gonna be helpful like later on. Okay. Why do I want to give this check first before just taking the rook is the question. Why don't I just take the rook? The rook is a simple move, is what I'm stuck on. But if I move the rook here, so let's see here. No, not caps lock. Shift. No, not shift. Just regular click, I guess. That'll make this entire thing off limits. So I expect that the king will go here. No, that's the wrong color. Green. Where's the green color? Shift? Green color. I expect him to go here where it's safe. So the rook will be here, and then it'll be under attack. So then I take here with check. No, wait, I don't take with check. It just defends this piece, and that's it. Then what? Or I could just, like, win the piece. I probably should just... I must have lost already. I'm black to move. I'm black to move. Black to move and win. So I have this, and that's just me. After this. Wow. Wow. All that time I'm just like, okay, what is white move? Okay, he's got his rooks. Okay, this piece is pinned. I'm thinking if I move this here, it'll counterattack. He can... What? Black to move again. I'm black. So black says... I keep getting confused on which piece I'm playing, I guess. Well, that's a simple move then. So, we have this, we have this. Checks, captures, attacks, so this one might be better. What happens if I go here? Okay. If I go here, then that will attack this one. Well, it'll defend this one. Let's try green color shift. Green. Defend that one, and it will attack that one. So where does the king move? He can't move here, he can't move here, he can't move here. So the only spot he can move is here. And so at a certain point I'll have this bishop move. No. Oh yes, I will, because if he moves here, then we'll block this bishop. So right now he's attacking my rook. I mean, he's attacking my bishop. So we could trade. Benefits of trading. I could counterattack. If I counterattack, what does he do? Maybe this. And then he tries to, I don't know, do some fancy stuff. I'm at 23. I got 2 24s yesterday, so I want to get past 24, or at least to 25. Okay. So that doesn't seem relevant. That doesn't seem relevant because the king can move to here and here. So it's never going to be a back rank mate. So... Oh, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? He can't move that way. So if I put the here, and I can get him to the back rank, then it would be made, but it's not really a forcing move, is it? Besides, the king can just move out of the way. And, you know, it's not a real threat. It's not a threat because as long as this guy is covering, so I'll need to dislodge this guy somehow. I do have this. What does that do? Oh. Oh yes. Okay, so I see it. So he's attacking this. So if I move it over here, it'll check the king, which will save it with a tempo. Then I can pick up this guy for free, so even if he gets here, I can defend with the rook, because the king is close enough. Okay, so he just that's not a sack. That's dangerous. Dangerous. Alright, so the king can't move here or here. So if the queen goes here, knight goes there. Queen picks up knight. Oh, actually, I need to be very careful here. That's a trap. That's a trap, because if the queen goes here, the rook can come back, which exposes a check on my king, and then I lose the queen for free. So, it's not that. That's scary. That's scary. Oh my goodness. Why am I in this mess right now? Let's review. So, he's cutting me off here. He's cutting me off here. Here, honestly. Just like... That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Ugh. And then I just like missed that I had mate because the bishop is here. Really? Okay. So here, mate? No. Here. Okay, that's covered, so. Alright, so my knight has joined the enemy ranks. Okay, that's a free knight too. Do I have a better move? I mean, what do I need a better move? I have this check, but then the knight comes out, so I think that I should take that first. Probably. I mean, it is a free piece, so I don't see why not. And this doesn't really do anything, so probably three piece. Alright, so I can move out of the way with check if I want to keep my piece. He's protecting this. Well, actually I can just take the queen for free, because it was pinned. So, what happens if I go here first? Because I have this check. If this check, he can move forwards. And then I check him, and then it's mate. But if he goes backwards, what happens? Then mate. So I think that I have to figure out which direction he's going first. Oh. Okay. So I have back rank here, what's the difference between queen and... Okay, so I don't have this square because the knight's covering. So I do have this. And so I think queen takes... I was thinking rook takes... Okay. What does this do? Not entirely sure. What can I do? Does that do anything? Probably not. Probably not. Wait. What happens if I do sack? King takes. Queen goes here. Then king just goes back, and then there's no follow-up. I could get here, but it doesn't do anything. Can I deflect the queen? No. Oh. Actually. Attacks the queen. Queen can't go here. Queen has to move. Alright, so knight goes here, queen has to move somewhere. Why is that good? And why is that not just a one move Vitus move? Queen can't take. She can actually go here. Oh, because if I can get the knight here, then I can get the rook here. So, probably. Okay. So, oh. Actually. It can go there. Oh, fancy move. Queen takes. If queen takes, then I can win the queen back. Oh, but what about the resulting position where the rook was going to x-ray that entire thing? Oh wait, I think the rook was protecting. Alright, so we got to 31, which is better than we've done the past previous days. This is protecting, so this is not a threat, and this is not a threat either. These are x-rayed and skewered. There's a rook hanging for free. So I can go here, and what happens? You can go here, which actually blocks that diagonal. Trade in that specific order? Because if I go here, and, not you. Okay, so if I go here, and he brings this back, I mean, I suppose he could just move, but I don't think that he wants to. I mean, he could just move. And then he'd be attacking this. Overall, I think it's not a bad move. So I probably take, and then I take. Well, actually, I didn't even see that my rook was hanging. Oh. Well, that's not really good. Okay, so my rook can go to a passive square over here, which probably isn't good, or I could just sack it. Or what else? I could do this, which I don't think is good because it just like does that. I could do. I could do that. Interesting enough. So if I do this, it checks the king. The rook can take, and I can take back. If he takes, then I can push. And how is he going to get back in time to stop the pawn from advancing? So I think that might be the move. Well, you don't know anything about chess. Alright, today we got to 32. 1869 is the size we got. So now I'm going to move into playing real people now. I'm hoping that I don't get paired against cheaters. Played 2 games on last night, and I was just like, yo, these people are cheating for sure. Alright. So, play online. Ten-minute rapid game against Hovenko. 0407. I'm going to start with the Queen's Gambit, which is these 2 pawn movements. This is Queen's pawn opening. Queen's Gambit is signified by this one. This is the Slav. I think I'm just going to continue developing normally. Although I think I was supposed to take. I could continue putting pressure, but I think it's too early. I feel like developing the bishop. Okay, so he's got like this triangle defense going on here. So I think he wants to get his bishop out so we can go for a quick attack here. I'm thinking of just closing the door, and if he comes I can come over here, but I'm expecting this at some point, so then I could go here. So if I have this already open, then the bishop can go here. Okay, no, because the queen goes here, and then the queen goes here, and if he doesn't want to trade, well, then he might just do that, and then the queen can come over. At a certain point, though, there is that, and then, well, actually that doesn't work. If I do this, then he just goes there, and that's not exactly what I want. I want to take the full center. I could just develop a knight, but I don't think that's the move. So do I want to allow this knight to get here, and allow this, and allow this? Is this the Cambridge Springs? I could just do this and stop it, but I don't feel like that's like in the spirit of the Queen's Gambit, for real. So if he goes here, right? Okay, is it a threat? Not yet. I can still continue with this, and even if he goes here, then I could potentially get him here. And there's the rook that comes over here. Okay, so I think I'll just close the door on this pawn. Protect this pawn. Get ready to castle at a certain point. What? That's not what I was expecting? Okay. So, in the London system, most people will bring their bishop back here, but you can also just allow takes in certain positions. I don't know if it's the same in this particular triangle-like structure. I could encourage him to take, but I don't think I really want that right now. I'm thinking that I might just want to continue with developing the knight instead. And try that. If he wants to trade, we can trade. Alright, now I've got a clamp on this square, which is pretty good. He can get his knight here at a certain point. But, okay. So even now I could go for it, and so that would encourage these knights to get even stronger in the center, so I kind of like that. And it also gets, queen looking at this diagonal, so this guy can't go here. I'm thinking I want to do that. Okay, so he just does that. So, I think I'll continue with this move. I don't see it yet. I could go for quick. Okay, so he does that. Probably here. Alright, so I think this is a pretty bad position for him. I can even start launching right here and here. Okay, what's bad is this gets his queen to this square, which is not something I want. I could do this so he can't do that ever, which isn't bad. I've got a pretty good position, and then I can like, okay, I don't want to move my queen away because this is still going to be like a threat at some point. Although if I do this and then I castle, well, I mean, he can do the same thing. What if I do this? Well, then I can never castle kingside if I wanted to castle kingside. Why do I want to castle kingside? Oh, I haven't figured it out yet. I want to throw all my pawns at him. I want to hurt this guy. I could do this, but I don't think it's necessary. Am I expecting this at a certain point is the question. If the queen goes here, I think I want to just throw pawns at him. Okay, so he does that. He does that, and because he does that, I still have a lock on center, so it's fine right now. I think I can go and put a second pawn in the center. So even if he takes, then I can take back. Alright. So he's attacking this piece. I think I can close the door on him. Otherwise I can get my queen more active by going here, getting ready to castle this way. He doesn't have this one. He doesn't have this one. He does have this. So if he does that, then I can take, and then I can actually move the queen here, which double attacks that. So I think that's actually a pretty good move. Then I lose the bishop. Do I want to lose the bishop over a pawn? What if I just redefend the pawn? What if I just redefend the pawn? Is that a bad move? I don't necessarily think so. So I think I'll do that. So now I've got if he takes, then I can take. The problem that I'm realizing now is that this pawn could potentially get weak. So perhaps I should have actually just pushed and then traded bishops. Traded my bishop for his knight. However, he is pretty restricted right now. His bishop doesn't have a place to go. It would take like a lot of moves to do anything. He does have this rook that he can't really do much about, and I could attack it, and he doesn't have any way to do anything. Okay, so what does this do? Okay, so he's probably going to try to get his queen infiltrating into my territory. Well, what can I do? I'm thinking I want to go here, and then I can castle. And then I can get the rook to the open file. Alternatively, I can move the queen here. Well, I'm going to castle anyway, so I think it makes sense to do that. And not to mention, I will be having some sightline on this pawn. And seeing that the pawn's defending, which is... Actually, I'm just gonna close the door on the bishop. So now he has to go there. Or he could just, like, sack it. I don't think that's pretty good for him, but he can do it. Alright. So, now that, I think I will now go ahead and castle. I want to get ready for the onslaught that is going to be happening over here. do I have a better move right now? I could bring the rook over here. Takes. Well, it's too soon right now. Queen. That doesn't really do anything. I don't want to take. I think I'll take back. Oh, I can't really take back, can I? What if I defend it? So even if he does that, I can take back with this pawn. Or even I can bring my knight here, right? I mean, he can do that, but then I just move it back, and I'm not too overly concerned, I don't think. What else do I have? Because if he were to take, which I think would be pretty good for me, I could put my knight here, which I absolutely love. So I think I'll go ahead and do that. Never like I used to. I got a first time chat from a person who tells me that I can get cheap viewers on streamboo.com. I'm pretty sure that is a scam link. Oh, I'm burning way too much time, but I'm really thinking about my options and stuff. He's not gonna want to take. He's like really stifled. I do want to like push this pawn. Okay, so he does that. I'm going without any further ado, I'm just going to bring it back. Okay, so he does that. So if he does this, then I will push on the next move. I think I do need to find a new home for my bishop. Let's see here. I want to do this. So if he does this, well, actually, I can just do that and bring it, well, here at some point, which I think is fine. Is there any... Okay, well, he can go here. I don't specifically like that. So, what if I trade? I need eyes on this pawn. What if I get queen to go here? I don't think it's a bad move in and of itself. Well, then it blocks the pawn. So maybe I should do this first. I mean, he can still go there even if he wanted to. Alright, so I'm gonna move here, I think. Just get ready for that onslaught. Close the door. So what's good is I'm gonna just close this, so all of my pawns are like on dark squares now, and my bishop is quite happy because it's got control of light squares. His knight is absolutely miserable, his rook is miserable, all of his pieces are miserable. So now I'm probably gonna move here, I think. So this is protected, so even if he goes, which he can't because I've got the knight. Like I used to. Okay, what if I push? Then he takes, and I take. Alright, which is pretty good for me. And it shatters his pawn shelter. So, is it too early? Can I get another piece into the game? I think I would like to get another piece into the game. So can I do this now? I mean, I can do this, and then he like moves back, and then I can push, and it doesn't really work. So maybe I need to do this first to get the queen off of the diagonal. Okay. So, well, that wasn't exactly what I thought. Okay, so probably I'll go with this now. I'm gonna have to pick it up. I've only got like 30 seconds now. Okay, so when we were alone, shiver like I used to. He can't take because I can take the bishop first. Just for you. Just for you. And at a certain point, shiver like I used to. Alright, so threatening mate. Okay, so I'm gonna move it here. Threatening mate. I'm happy I won. I worked hard for it, and it was getting really dicey with that time. Bad, poor time management, but I hope that, you know. Alright, let's look at the game review. What does the game review think that A game review said, I played like a fucking boss. Look at that. 1900. So 85.4%. Unfortunately, I didn't find any brilliant moves. I found 2 great moves, 10 best moves. I played 2 mistakes, so I'm shite, actually. Alright, let's start the review. So, d4, Queen's Gambit. d5, c4. Slav defense. Okay. I wasn't sure about here. You know, I know that it's only like move theory, and it's just like, you know, why don't you use theory? And it's just like, I'm trying to figure it out. So, let's see here. I mean, I considered a lot of different moves. I mean, I considered this because of that, but I thought the theory move was here, just like continue. Wait, because I thought it was here, and then something about here. I knew that the queen would come over here, which is always fucking annoying, and then I say, okay, you know, if you want a queen trade, you know, then I push the pawn, and it's supposed to take, and that's supposed to be, like, good for me or something. I have arrow keys. So, he played theory. Okay, so this was not good, apparently. Why was this not good? Yeah. Okay. So, what was best, and why? Okay, so I think, okay, so you say put this guy here first, so that way if this guy ever comes I can jump, alright? And if he takes, then I'm supposed to put this here, is that right? That way it discourages him from ever doing this. Let's retry. Okay, so show follow-ups. Okay, so I'm supposed to be very patient about recapturing this pawn in the Slav defense. Okay, so if I run into the Slav again, and after I get to this position, I'm not supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to do this. I'm supposed to be boring and do this. No, not even, dude. That's wrong too. Are you not paying attention? You're supposed to do this. No, I'm wrong. You do the knight first. This makes no sense to me. Okay, so you only do that after they take, I think. Show follow-ups. Okay, if they take, then you push the a4 pawn to prevent this. That way the bishop never gets kicked. Okay, in that order. Okay, that was the best move. Okay, let's move to next. So he does that. That was a bad move. That was a bad move. Should have taken. Okay. Did like this. It was hanging? At what point was it hanging? Okay. I want to know. Okay. So he didn't like. Okay. He says you should have brought the bishop back, which I did consider, and then I would have had that attacking file, which would have helped me, I think, in this specific game. But, you know, I feel like most of the time they don't actually take. Although I could have wasted a move, and then I could have done. Well, I mean, the knight should have already been on the square anyway. Well, because the bishop. I don't know. The bishop shouldn't have been there, you know? If I followed the main line. So he takes. I got that clamp on the center. He does that. It didn't like this. It wanted me to defend with this. Why? So I can get the bishop active. I don't see it. He wants me to do this. Yeah, I get it. He's just like, okay, you know, never move the bishop. Bishop, I don't know. Okay. We're gonna move next. He does that. I take, best move, capture towards the center. He moves that. His pieces are all miserable. It hates this, huh? Yeah, I guess so. Because, you know, I didn't actually want him to ever get a knight here. Resume. Okay, didn't like that. Does like it. Okay, takes back, he takes that. Does not like it. I'm just like throwing the game here, dude. I mean, you see this evaluation bar? It's just like, I thought it was doing good. Did want me to push. Okay, so that wasn't a good move. Didn't like this either. Yeah, I was concerned that this would become a liability at a certain point, so you're right. Okay. But, you know, I was running low on time and I was just like, how am I supposed to continue the attack, you know? Okay, it does like this. His knight is miserable. Doesn't like this. I was considering it, but, you know, I was just like, well, what does it do? Okay. Likes that. I want to get that outpost here. What was... You wanted me to move on the inside. Well, then what? I mean, it would never become an attacking target for that, but it doesn't really do anything. And it was helpful because his bishop could never go to that square at a later time. Okay. Oh, no, stop. Rushing me. Okay. Where was I? Stop. Skipping. Okay, I did that. Didn't like it. Yeah, should have kept the center closed. But, you know, also want to give the opponent, like, a bunch of uncomfortable questions to answer. Wanted me on the inside. I don't see it. It didn't like it. I was considering it, but then I would never be able to push this pawn, and then I couldn't continue my attack. Close up the door. Yeah, I didn't have to, but I figured I may as well. Alright. Queen. Here instead, huh? Yeah. But I wanted the open file. Didn't like this either. Just like throwing the game, bruh.
Didn't like that either. Okay, let's it wanted... I was probably going to take with the rook anyway. What was the best? Do here, show follow-ups. Well, okay. Resume. Didn't like that. Didn't like that. What was the best? Okay. Resume. Didn't like that. I don't know. I wanted to mate him here. Alright. I was concerned that it was too premature to do that. Alright. And then mate. So, pretty good. A bit slow, but pretty good. Not a bad game. Alright. So, here we go again. Playing black this time. Against Kanoisi. I'm gonna play a modern. Should I trade like Casablanca? I mean, I could defend the center. I think I like that actually. So I think I'll do that. And he does that, huh? What on earth? What is this? Okay, so if I take... do I have this? I think I do have this. So if he takes... Oh. That doesn't work. Okay, what he's saying is he's got this check. No. Well, potentially he does. I could get greedy. Or I could just, like, bring the bishop back. Or I could just, like, defend that square. If the queen goes here, and if takes, then takes, I've got this. It watches this. I could just block it, but that's not good. I could go here, and then I could go here, and this actually blocks this and attacks the queen, so this isn't even a threat. And then I could just like move back, because I'm not too concerned about this pawn, because we've already traded. I mean, it does get him the strong center. I could strike back in the center immediately, try to go for a check, and then maybe a castle. It depends. Does he want it or not? So what's the benefit of castling first, and then allowing him to take, and then moving back? Well, I don't have to move back on the same move, actually. I can actually go and attack, and then move it back. So that's actually a pretty decent move, I think. So, if I allow takes, then before sliding the bishop back, I'll go and attack here. It'll block this check from ever happening. What on earth? What is this? Okay. So I could just like take with the queen, and if queen takes, then knight takes, and then attacks this guy, which gives me a pretty good position, and I can just castle. So I think I might do that. I don't necessarily want to trade queens, but I think I will, because it keeps the initiative here. Okay. So what does this give me? I think I think what I want to do first is actually move the queen here first. I was thinking just taking here, but if I just do that, then this can go here, which protects the rook. But if I go here and he goes here, and well, actually, I don't win the pawn. So, what is the alternative here? It destroys his pawn structure. I'm not too... What if I check here? And then if he does that, then I could move here, which would attack this pawn, so if he ever castles. I can't move here. The bishop is watching this diagonal. I don't want to stay here because then here. Do I have a better move? Not right now. Not right now. Alright, so I think I will check. Okay, let's see here. If here, I cannot win this pawn. I can win this pawn now, but he can't counterattack. He does have this. And what do I have? I can move here. So I am good. For now. For a while. I'm pretty good for a while, actually. So I think I might just win a pawn. I thought about it for... What am I talking about? He's never got this! Sometimes I just have brain farts, I swear. Okay. I can't castle. I want to... If I get this guy open, then I can get the bishop out. And then I can castle, which I think is pretty good for me. Alternatively, I could go for here immediately, but that would expose me to this check, which I don't necessarily want. I don't want to castle. He doesn't have that move. He won't have that move for a while. Alright, so I can defend the bishop, get ready to check him, and if he checks, that doesn't work for me. What if I can't just put it in the center? I could go here, and then he comes down. Well, I don't think so. I think I'll just get ready to check. If I check him here, that was not the move. That was not the move, bro. You had one move. You had one move, and that was not it. I'm sure you had multiple moves, but of all the moves that you chose, that one wasn't the best one. You wish, dude. The funny thing is, you can't even do anything about it. Your queen is still pinned. And it's not threatening mate, because he's got the knight here. But if I push it on the next move, then I would be threatening mate in two different spots. Okay. So, let's look at the game review. Trust 960. There are 960 legal starting positions in the game of chess 960. Thus the name chess 960. 960 legal starting positions, huh? Why? I want to know how good I played. Okay, so I played at 95% accuracy. Whoop whoop. I had no brilliant moves. I had no great moves. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't really do anything. I just took all the free pieces. So let's start the review. So he started with Queen's Pawn opening. I started with the indie game, apparently. I thought it was called the Ready, but maybe that wasn't a good move because it just gave me a free pawn. So free pawn number 1. So then he goes and attacks my knight. It didn't like it. It thought that I should have just traded the knights. Good to know. But I did consider it, but I don't know. I was just like, he's just going to get this strong center, and then he's going to be able to push, and then take, and then redefend, and he's got, like, you know, a bunch of, like, moves in the ready. Unless he, like, threatens to, like, win a pawn or something, you know. I kind of like that pawn that was there anyway. So moving on. So he took back. This is the all book theory, apparently. So he goes like this, immediately attacks in the center. I was reluctant to take because he's going to develop his knight, and then that's just going to like give him some advantage. It wanted me to go for the center strike immediately, which I did consider. I did not consider that until like later, because it takes, and then favorable exchange of queens, and then here, and what? Well, the king would be here, so this wouldn't be a target. Oh, well, and then I'd have like a quick whatever. I mean, what would he do instead? He wouldn't want to take. He'd probably like defend or something and say, you take it. And, you know, I don't know. But, next. I didn't think this was a good move. But I didn't really play a good move. I was thinking about it, but I didn't want to move the queen too early. Okay, so queen trade was the best move. I don't like to do queen trades too early in the beginning because, you know, it's my most powerful piece. And after much consideration and forgetting that my knight actually covers a square, took the free pawn, getting ready for the bishop. I did consider this move. I did, but I was just like, you know, if it's here, it's not doing anything. It blocks the queen from coming back. Oh, well, I guess I could have put that there and then put that there. But I was just like, if at a point that he does this, and, you know, well, I mean, I guess the bishop's always going to take. And then he played the worst move on the board. And then he tried to get fancy and say, if you take my queen, I'll take your queen. But, well, I don't have to take. It's pinned. And even if I did take, it would be check. So I would have time to like move up my queen. So I was never in any danger. Won the free bishop. His queen is the most useless piece on the board right now. Oh, well, except for the rook. Well, at least the queen's doing something. The rook's not. Neither is this knight. Okay. Just one free piece. Just want another free piece. And there's not much to say there. So, let's go back. Okay, play online. We are almost at 1300. So, Queen's Gambit. First offer just started. You, oh, first offer. He plays that. So this guy is either really good or really scary. So what is he gonna do next? I could not take the full center right now. I could play here so he can never play there, but that's not really in the spirit of the Queen's Gambit at all. So I figure I could just do this. Continue with normal development, and if he, like, you know, tries to go for, I feel like taking the full center is probably the move. I can do this, or I could go with the 4 pawns attack. This isn't really the 4 pawns attack. If I go here, he could go here. And then I could chase him out. No, I can't. I can't chase him out. Wait, yes I can. What am I talking about? I can chase him out with this move. So I think I probably should do that. And this, like, keeps everything together. So if he goes there, then I can go here. So I think I'll go ahead and do that. I'm expecting something like this. The queen can't take it because it's protected multiple times. Alright, so I like where this guy is right now. I could push him out again, but then he's just going to move back. So I think I'm just going to develop my knight now. That way this and this is taking over. This has still got pressure. If he does this, then I'll probably do this. Okay, so he's not really showing me how good he is right now. Or he's just, like, playing it in a way where I'm supposed to overextend, and then he gets, like, super confident. Okay, so if he takes that way, I think I'll take towards the center. I think I would like to get ready to castle. I can consider putting a knight there, but I think it's too early, so probably not the move. I could go here. What happens if I go here? Then he takes and I take, and he has to, like, move, which attacks that, and it also helps him out here. I'm thinking I want to do this and then just castle. Do I have a better move right now? I could take, and then he takes with the bishop, and then he attacks this pawn, and then he just, like, ruins my structure. So I don't specifically like that. I think I'm just gonna play slow. I'm gonna develop the bishop, and then I'm gonna castle. Right now okay, so the big decision. Either this way or this way. I like the idea of taking this way because then it gets all of these pawns together. If I go this way... Okay, actually, I go this way, and then he can't get the bishop there, which I kind of like. So I think I'll do that. Knight's protecting this square. Kind of makes me regret not putting it there, but, you know, whatever. I could barrel down the center on the next move if I wanted to, too. Do I want to? So if I go here, then takes, and then this guy has to move. He's got... Okay, I think I want to castle first, though. But if I go here now, then the queen doesn't have any checks. And then I get, like, the full center, and his pieces are all bad. If I go here... I think I'll go here. Where's the knight gonna go? The knight can go here, and then he'll have 2 pieces on this piece here. Or I could just stick a fat-ass knight there. No, I think it's too early. Is he trying to do this? I could go over here and attack this pawn, put more pressure on the position. Does that help me? At a certain point, if the rook gets here, that might help. So I might consider it. Drawbacks. And also, it could give me the get ready to castle queenside. So I think I might put pressure on the position, but if I go over there and then I go chase after this pawn and he lets me, and then he goes here and then I have to like move out of the way, and it has nothing to do with the king side right now. I think it's just like playing on both sides of the board, and it's like a little unnecessary, and besides, he wants to do, well, actually that a lot, no, he doesn't have that, because then knight takes. But I need to be careful because this pawn at a certain point could become hanging. So I might consider doing this move first, simply because if he does this, then I can take with my, no, take with the bishop, gotta take with the bishop. Knight is occupied. It's just putting pressure on this position. Okay. Okay. So, is there a threat yet? Threat is to dislodge the knight. Okay. So what if I now go here and ask his knight to move? What is this knight doing? I could get him here and get a fat-ass knight there, which would be pretty good for me. I think I can't do that yet. I think I'm going to barrel down the center first. Again, it's going to move here. So I think I'll castle first. That way I can make sure that if he does this, and then I can go here. No, that doesn't exactly work, does it? But at a certain point, this will be vulnerable, so if I can dislodge the knight, can I even do that like as early as now? I think it's time to go. It's time to go. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Okay. So, now what? I did expect this. So, what can I do? I can redefend the pawn like this, and that would make this entire thing pretty useless. Furthermore, what else can I do? He takes, I take, he takes. I cannot move the knight yet. I think redefending the pawn is probably the best course of action right now. So I'll do that. No shit like I used to. And so I can't bring my knight here. Okay, so the question is, I think 2 pawns in the center. So he can't put his, well, alright, so just for you, okay, so I can attack, he takes, I take, he takes, and then what? The knight goes here, and it puts like tremendous amount of pressure there, and also attacks this guy. But this guy can go back at a certain point. This guy is protecting this. Is his knight trapped? His knight is trapped. No, it's not. It's not trapped because it's got this square. So, what if I bring this knight in first? Well, I could go here, 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 That doesn't work. Well, actually, this goes here and it attacks this piece, so he'll have to do something. But he'll probably, like, redefend by, I don't know, putting the rook there, or something. As long as this guy is here, this is protected, so this isn't much of a threat. Let's see here. Just for you, and just for you, like I used to. Okay. Well, actually, I need to be careful because at a certain point, if I like do this, he has this intermezzo move too. I feel like I kind of want to get. Okay. This is only protected by one piece currently. I need to do something. I need to do something. If he does that, I can push. He doesn't have this. I need to move faster. Alright. I don't see a better move right now, so I'm just gonna like get my rooks to the open board. I want to be able to move the knight. Okay, so if I move the knight here, is this a bad move? I don't think so. So now the knight has moved. The rook has moved. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. This guy's hanging at a certain point. I don't have this. I don't have this, and this guy can always come back. If he does this, then I can do this. Okay, so if he does that, okay. So I think I can now move this. Okay, the problem is, right, he is trying to win this pawn. Do I care? Do I care about this pawn, like, at all? Do I have a better move? I can defend the pawn like this. I think it's like just a pawn anyway, and he doesn't have that. If he takes and then takes, then I just take. And he doesn't have any forks. Okay, so he goes for that. Just for you. Just for you. So I can now move this from here to here, and I can put like more pressure on this pawn. We could trade. I think I'll go ahead and do that. I can move this guy here. If he does that, I have this. And further, I have this. Okay. So he goes for that. Alright, so what can I do now? I can move the... I don't have time to think. I don't have time to think. I should have probably attacked the thing first. Just for you. I'm expecting him to take this pawn. Does this do anything? Just for you. Shiver like I used to. Okay, so what do I have?
Just for
I think I have to do this right now, probably, because both my knights are hanging. Okay, I don't have time. I don't have time to consider moves right now. I've got to like move fast. I don't have anything. This is protected. I don't have anything. I don't have. I don't. All right, let's rematch. No, I don't want to rematch. Look at the game. Game review. I don't know about that one, dude. I don't know about that one, dude. Okay. Um, let's review. Yeah. Only so much time. I don't know. Something about this doesn't feel right. So, I'm gonna go over to his... How do you... I don't even care. Alright. Play online. Alright, here we go. Okay. Playing black. I think, so, probably... it's a little too early to be doing that. I could just go with the traditional King's Indian defense. I could go for the bishop immediately, but I don't want to move the same piece twice in the opening, or something that I try to be principled about. What? Sure. But that just gives me this move, and you will never be able to dislodge this knight using the same methods. So what does this do? This actually gives me the ability to do the Grunfield type whatever and tell you to move. I could try to dislodge him a different way, or I could just like move the knight to the inside, or I could go straight for the center, takes, and then I could move it out of the way. Which, I think what I need to do is this move first, then this move. Alright, so this guy can now move. Does this change my mind about anything? Well, it can go all the way back, so I don't think this is such a good move. I think that he wants to castle kingside, so I feel like I would like to launch a kingside attack instead. So if I go here, okay, if I take, and then he takes, and then I throw out, and then he takes, and then I take, and he takes, and then I take, and then rook takes. So I think that's all pretty good for me. So, throw out. one thing I didn't consider actually is if he just does that anyway. So I think I'll go here. Okay, so now I get this piece. So his queen is attacked. Alright, so he goes ahead and he does that. So, if I go here, then I can go here and then he takes. I can't take back unless at a certain point. So what if what else can I do? I can just trade queens. His structure is kind of like ugly. And then I can like take control of the file. But he probably wants to like move the rook here. Well, I could just ask him to move. Do I have a way to dislodge the knight? Well, if he takes, then queen takes, and if he takes, then this takes. What if I just move the queen out of the way? That way I can get more pressure on this one. But then he still has more attackers than I have defenders, so it doesn't really matter. I don't really want him to push himself. Well, he can just like keep it closed for a while. I don't have any like sort of dynamic sacks. He can't get into my area anymore. Alright, so I think I'll just move here. And what happens if I move here? Well, he can get the knight here. And then we can trade? Is that good for me? I should probably trade queens. I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it. What the fuck? Not what I was expecting. Alright. So, I do want to get this pawn to the center. I think taking control of the opener. But does it really do anything here? I think preventing his knight from infiltrating is probably a good idea. Cut away squares, get ready for an attack here. So I'll probably go ahead and do that. So probably 2 pawns. He can't get. Okay, so he goes and he. That I don't think was the move. I don't think that was the move. Do I have to take? I don't. I don't have to take at all. I can take on the next move. Does this do anything? I don't think so. He can win a pawn if he really wants to. He can move it back. What if I go here? Take the open file. Get ready to double rook. I think that's pretty good for me. I can ask him to get out. I think I'll ask him to get out. Rook can't move because he's gotta like watch this one. Okay. So, I think I'm going to go here so I can threaten to. Okay, he's got a check. He does have a check, so I need to be aware of that. Does the check do anything? It doesn't do anything right now. Oh, he's got 2 checks, and they don't do anything yet. But I do need to be aware because my rook is currently hanging in the back rank. Okay, so I actually do now win a pawn. So I think I'll go ahead and do that. Alright. So even if he goes here, I can go here. Considering here. now my rooks are doubled, which is pretty good. I'm gonna get my rook off of... Oh, and I got a tactic. I got the tactic. If he doesn't see it, I just found a tactic. I just found a tactic. I just found a tactic. Ask the king to move. I just found a tactic. I just found a tactic. I just found a tactic. Okay. Okay. So he's got this. He can go here. Should I go here now? I can actually win a pawn. If no, I can't. Let's see here. If I go here, he'll ask me to move. I don't think this works. I think I'll go ahead and do this. I want to keep this diagonal open. Okay. So I think I can probably... I can go back and I can defend the pawn if I want to. And that would make his piece pretty... I think I'll go ahead and defend that pawn. Why not push it? Because then I won't be able to like do much. Then push it. I think I'll probably go ahead and do that then. He does that. Is this a problem? I think I'll go ahead and probably try to get... No. What do I want? Probably try to break in the center. Okay, he takes. I'll take back. These pawns are forever going to be weak. But I'm trying to break up his pawn shelter. I'm hoping that I can get this pawn to go here, and you failed. Spotted that earlier, just was waiting for the opportunity. Almost made, but not quite. If I had one more move, I could have. Alright, so he does that. I probably will have to do this. Going. Okay, so won the game. I had one great move, 11 best moves, and 6 excellent moves. Game review. Peru Demon. I played at 85.6% accuracy, 1900. Pretty good. Alright, let's start the review. You start with d4. Queen's pawn opening. I started with the Indian game. He started with the bishop. I was trying to play pretty classically, I guess. He defends the pawn. All pretty standard. Built the teacup for the bishop, put the bishop into the teacup. Castle, and my structure is nearly out of the opening. He fires off with h4. But this only helps me because he can never boot out this bishop anymore. So that is a pretty good diagonal for the bishop, but I tried to play principally and just like put all my pieces into their best squares. He brought his queen out, preparing the castle. Okay, so I wasn't supposed to do that. What was I supposed to do instead? This is where. Okay, what was the best move? Okay, so from when I have like watched different material about the King's Indian defense, it does say that this is a move that can be played. I wish it would show me the follow-ups, but it doesn't, because it's either this or it's this. And, well, if I dislodged this guy and then I got it here, then it would attack the queen, so that was probably the point. That was probably the point. So I should have considered that, but I didn't. So, this was a forcing line. No, it wasn't. It didn't like my thoughts at all. He traded his bishop for my knight, which I thought was like good for me. I traded because I just felt like it was probably what I was supposed to do, even though it's not something I wanted to do. Ain't that life for ya? He takes back with the bishop, which I didn't see. I didn't see that at all. I thought he was going to take with the rook. So, didn't like that. Well, it liked the idea, but I see. If I had done this pawn instead, I would have controlled these two squares instead of just this square. So long term it was better. He wanted to put his knight there instead. Getting ready for a queenside attack. It didn't like it. Wanted me to put a rook to the center. I did consider this, but I just didn't feel like the rook in the center was really doing anything, and I should have like supported the pawns at the very least. He puts the knight in the center. I'm like so bad at chess at the evaluation part. It's just like, but you still won though, so you can't be that bad. Alright, so I did consider taking, but I felt like if he took, and then he took, and then he was going to put the bishop there, and it was going to lock this down, my bishop would never have scope, and then he could push it, and then it would be a threat, and you know, there's just like a lot of stuff going on, and that would be like a strong pawn, and whatever. So I didn't really want to deal with all of that. So one move like this attacks my knight. I defend the pawn, and I attack the knight. He goes back. Yeah. Now I took. Okay, the situation was now perfect and right for the taking. So I won a pawn. He does that, which I expected. I missed the tactic that I was... Wow. Yeah. So I found the tactic later. I missed it here. So apparently, even as soon as, like, here... Wait, what? No. The king moves away, and I win a rook. Oh, well, even if the bishop were to move, though, the king could just move back. So... And... Okay. Didn't like the double rooks. Hey, I was saving that bishop move for one specific reason, okay? And it didn't happen yet. I knew that it was there, I was just waiting on it. Asked the bishop to go away. I'm so glad that was the right move. Sometimes in the endgame, you know, I'm just like confused on what I'm supposed to be doing with my pawns. It didn't like this. I lost a lot of my advantage with this. I know that you wanted me to put the bishop there, okay? But there's no reason yet to do it. I feel like it was too premature. So I found that move. That's all I was waiting for. That was all I was waiting for. Takes, and opponent resigns. Alright, so that was a pretty good session, and now I'm at 1295, which is better than I was yesterday. So we're gonna do one more puzzle rush, and then I think I'm gonna call it for today. Alright, so play. 1. Alright, so what do you see? I see that this knight is hanging, so queen takes. Okay, what do you see? I see that nobody's protecting the back rank. What do you see? Well, I see that there are not enough defenders on the back rank. Well, there aren't anybody protecting the rook. Well, nobody's protecting the battery. Check. Or... No, because if king moves here and here, so that's pretty good. I think that's probably gotta be it. Okay. Well, who is going to protect your... what? Okay, so the rook is pinned. Wait to move. Okay, yeah, I'm good. Because, well, the bishop covers. And... goodbye. And... I do have this. A king would have to move. But I better move. I have this. And king still moves. King still moves. And I have mate, so I should probably play mate if it's on the board. So I can go here. And the king has to, like, move. That's not where I wanted him to move to. I wanted him to move somewhere else. Let's see here. So if rook goes here, king would go here to make sure that the pawn couldn't go anywhere, and if the pawn moves, he can go here, but then I would still get the queen, so it doesn't even matter, really. Is that the move? Would a 600 spot that? Is there a better move? Well, I can move it here and attack here, so if he goes here, then I go here, and then he goes there, so it blocks, so it's not fast enough. If I go here, and then the king goes here, and then I push, and if he takes, then I can go here, so that might be the best move. Is there a better move? Okay, so please, I got a battery. Stay on the queen. Want you, I need you, oh God. Please take. I don't know the lyrics of the song. These beautiful things that... Okay, so he's stuck here, so I think that's mate. Okay, so he's attacking the rook. So this diagonal, excuse me, this diagonal is clear. This diagonal is clear. So probably this move, and then that. So he's checking me. I cannot do this. King has to move. Do I have a better move? If I do, I don't see it. I think this move is forced. So queen mates. Queen mates. That doesn't help you. Well, sorry, pawn. Looks like... okay. Do I want to try to save that pawn, though? I've got a move. How many moves do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many moves does he need to get back? So from here, 1, 2, that doesn't work. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I think I just pushed the pawn, and I'm sorry, Harry. Harry, you need to learn a tough lesson in life. Not all pawns were created equal. Alright, so I have a tactic. If I check you, and then I check you again. Okay. So, oh goodness, that's scary. But, I want you, I need you, oh come on, please stay. Okay, the bishop covers, so it's never a problem. So I think here, here, and so now what is the move? It's probably here to cover this. Is there a better move? Not that I'm seeing. Okay, so I can't get in. I do not want him to get in, so I feel like the king needs to go here. I don't want the king to go here either. Is it? Okay. So, if king goes here, and you can't get here, this is already blocked. Okay, I want to cover that square. And then you go here. And then what do I do? Okay, I feel like, okay, so I can put it here and freeze up your pawn. And that would prevent you from getting here. What if you get here? What if you get here? You can't, like, make any more. Well, I don't want to get backed up. I don't want him to force me backwards. If I go here, what happens? Which move is more important between these two moves? If I go here, it will cover this square. This square. This square's already covered. This square's already covered. So the only way he can go is here. And he won't be able to get in here because it's covered. He can get here, 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 and then here. So that's probably the route that he wants to take. If he could. He'd like to go here, 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 take this pawn, somehow take this pawn, and march that pawn. What do I want to do? Well, I need to get here. So I can get here, and then here, and then here, and then here, and here. So I feel like this square is more important. But if I do this first, and that encourages them to move, then I would have to, like, allow him to get this square, and I don't want to do that. So I think that this... Okay. And look at that. I still have time. I can do... Well, never mind. Okay. 1, 2... Okay, so it's blocked here. That's hanging for free. So... That's covered multiple times by different pieces. So I feel like taking the free rook is probably the move here. I didn't see that. Probably because it wasn't. Okay. If I take, not good. Here, allow take, here, here, king moves back. Queen at a certain point can block. What about here? Take here. Here? That's interesting. Here, allows take, takes back. then what does the king do? King can't run away. King might move here. Then if I check here, he has the queen to block. So that's not good. If I check here, he takes back, then I take. He still moves here. No, wait. Well, no, wait. So here, here, here. King has to move somewhere else. He can't move here. He can move to these two. And if he moves to those two, then the rook. Okay, so this is probably too fancy. This is hanging, by the way. Okay, I guess not. Please. My queen is hanging. So if I take, and then he takes, and then I take, I don't think this is bad for me in any way. I feel like I just take the rook. And I take the rook. And then I take the queen. This is... Okay, so I have this. I have this, and this... Well, then he has that. So that doesn't really do me a... What am I talking about? Just win the free piece with check. Ho ho ho. Eat shit! Okay. Well... If you have mate on the board... No! Hold it. Knight is covered. Oh, shoot. So if I go here, right? King has to move, and then I win this guy. So this is probably the best move. Here. Okay. I do have that, but then that, and then that. So that's not good for me. I could go here and threaten mate. But then he just like does that, and then I have to take, and then he takes this. So it doesn't, it's too slow. I do have this move, so if he takes, then I pick the rook. It doesn't do anything here, and then I have to move back, I guess. I could move back here, but I don't think that's a good move either, because then he's just gonna throw a pawn in my face. I think it's very attractive that I have this. That could mate him in one move. But I can't cover it again. Although, I just noticed that I do have this move. And if he takes, then the queen can go over here. And that would mate him. And this would put more pressure here, so I think this is really strong. Good job, dude. Alright, so... This pawn's a goner, this pawn's a goner, but maybe I can attack the knight, and if the knight's attacked, then I have this, which can pick up the rook. Wait. So if I move it here, and then he takes, then I check, then he moves here, and, well, that doesn't work, does it? If he takes here, then I can fork him here. This is covered, so it's not bad. It's not bad, actually. Oh, it's covered here, so I don't have that move. Not until he moves. But, no, what, I have this check, and then he has here, and then I have that. So that's probably the strongest move, because he can't move to this, because if I move this, then he has this. So he's sealed off, I check him here, he has to take, then I bring the rook down. I take the rook, because he has to bring the rook back to guard the king. What did I just say now? What did I say? I think this is the move. There we go. So, well, I had this, and if king takes here, and then what? Then the king moves here, right? Ooh, what about, no, then the queen can take, and this, so that doesn't really do me any good. Take. Okay, what about take, take, take? I don't think that's right. Oh wait, take. No, that isn't right. That's not right. Take, 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 take. He's got enough defenders. If I take, oh, here, king takes probably, rook takes, king moves here or here. And in that resulting position, check again, I could win the other rook. So not bad. Okay, that's actually a lot of material. So I win the rook, he moves, check, he moves, probably here. But either way, he can't go there. So I can just get him back onto the back rank, and then, okay, so that's probably the best move. Goodbye, my beautiful queen. Okay, so he's got a lot of pressure. I've got 1, 2, 3 defenders, so I'm good right now, at the moment. If I get here, that doesn't, well, I mean, it wins me a bishop, but that strengthens his center, and then it puts more on my center. That doesn't do anything. I could take, queen takes, then what? I mean, this pawn is hanging, but I don't think that's the important thing in the position right now. Let's see here. What else do I have? What's your word? Need you, oh God, please. What if? Okay, so the bishop is actually protecting too, so I need to consider that. If I take, and then he takes, and then I go here, queen could take, but then the bishop takes, which is probably not something that you want. So the queen will probably move off this. I can attack the rook. Wait, what? What if I attack the rook, the bishop first? Because this bishop is protecting the back rank, and that's kind of what I want. What happens if I allow him? If I take here and he takes here first, then I take here. And then he... Okay, so I think that... I feel like taking the bishop is probably... But it offers... Well, I mean... Let's do this. Alright, so... If I go here... And... He either can take... Or he can, like, take. Which is more likely for him to do? I mean, I think that taking here probably makes more sense. He's already got the open file. And then if I take here, queen could take, and then I go here. Queen could take, and then this guy takes. But if the queen goes off, then I get here, which is protected, and also the queen can get over here without moving. So I think I don't know anything about chess. So if I go here, the king goes here, and then I can go here, and the king can't go there, so that's probably it. So here, well, never mind. Ugh. Not so good. Alright, good attempt, but we made it to pay 2 hours, which was my mark for today. And I'm going to post this onto YouTube later. If you want to come watch me play live, I am, what am I? I think I'm just Ike Plays Chess on Twitch, but my username on chess.com is Ike Plays Chess 2. T-O-O. Like in addition to. Alright, cool. So I'm going to end the transmission now. Thank you for watching. And I hope you have a great day. Stop streaming.